Thanks for turning into Big Air TV. Today we're going to talk about the Torrent Tower. It's Big Air's newest tower, and we've got some great things we want to talk to you about this tower, and then we'll go on in and start doing the basic installation for you, very light duty, high level installation. Starting right from the bottom here, we've got a great tower with 2 1/4 inch polished tubing. You can get it in black powder coat or you can get it in anodized finishes. Single bolt mount, no set screws showing. On the interior, we've got aluminum backer plates, rectangular and round, to fit your hole and give you all the support you need. Plus, we have the radius or concave gaskets you need to match your hole or the flat ones. As we move up the tower, we've got a great hinge system with a nylon bearing in there to help make sure you don't get in a bind as you lay this tower down. This tower will lay down below the top of the tower. You'll see that in a later video in this installation series. As we go up, we've got our awesome plate system here with our swivel rack on there. This entire system swivels 360, full rack. You can run triples on here, doubles, wake, combos, knees, whatever you need. Love the styling. Look at the thickness of the plate, incredible here. As you go up high, we've got gussets. In this current tower right now, we've got a couple of speaker cans hanging up there. You can put duals or whatever. It's just for this particular customer we were setting this up for. Integrated nav light capability up on the head there, and you can run wiring for your speakers and your nav light down the tubing, and then all the way it's free open wiring passages through there, and then you can jump a hinge or go into the hole down here as you want as necessary. This is a great tower with the gusseting needed for these single bar towers. We love it. The height, you should be well over 6 foot once you're off about a 2-foot gunnel. So we got lots of height, not like some of those towers on the market that are short, gonna hit your head on them. Not the case here. This is a full height here. We're probably around 55 inches on the under height to 56, but at the 2 foot, and that's putting us probably 6.5 foot plus on the under height there. So you will not be hitting your head unless you're exceptionally tall. So come along with us as we do the installation of Big Air's Torrent Tower. You're gonna love it. All right, we're ready to begin the installation. I went ahead and took the liberty of putting some masking tape here to protect the hole so we can touch things and not scratch the gel coat up here. I know approximately where I want the Torrent Tower on this particular boat, and my preference is a little bit back behind the windshield, approximately here. And I've also gone inside the boat, always important, and check for access to make sure I can access there. Most boats you can, but you need to check. Sometimes there's certain issues there. So it's good here. It's 67 inches approximately from the front to back mounts on this particular Torrent Tower. So, but don't ever just measure exactly off that. We'll show you how to do it. But so I also need to know that my side to side distance is the same. So go look at our video on measuring a boat where we show you how to use a T-square. It's in our video library, and it'll give you more details about how to find the center line and have an absolute point so you line up properly on your boat, because you can't trust a lot of these particular points on a boat. They vary from side to side, and we want a true and accurate tower installation. So I found my location. I've grabbed my bottom bar. I've grabbed it. I've checked it out. I just set it up here until I find the look that I like. That's important. The access. Set this down here. Now that I have that, I take a gasket. It's the best way to do it. I center it to what place I want. This particular area, I've got a nice flat area on this hole here, and I'll go ahead and mark it with a pencil, and I'll drill my hole, and we'll begin our installation. Okay, I jumped ahead on you. I've already drilled my hole here. This is a 9/16 inch hole is what we drill for a single bolt on the Torrent Tower. So I ran my bit in reverse, and then I also, note my tape was protecting it. I also gone in with our grinding stone, this round stone, and I've dressed this hole out to break that sharp edge left by the bit on the gel coat so it doesn't propagate a fracture. We don't want that. We don't want to see little tiny cracks, and that's how we avoid that. I know that my hole, or my thickness here, is 3/8 of an inch thickness. If not, you need to reinforce, and we're ready to go ahead and put a mount on there and get this bottom bar for this Torrent Tower on. Okay, we're in the second part of our bottom bar installation. We've got our front attached, and we're getting ready to mark where we're going to put this bottom, or this location for the bottom bar here. The secret is I didn't just drill it, even though it's 67 inches approximately. I don't just drill this hole. We need to make sure it matches. And so the first step is, if you come with me, is that, as you can see, I'm already attached here. And so this is a fixed location here. And so now as we come back this way, I'm just going to pick up this bottom bar here. I've got my mount already on it, and I'm going to put it in place right here, check my location, and then I've actually taken a marker, a pen, or a pencil and circled them out here on the tape. So now I can put it out of the way gently. I don't want to scratch my tower, but you can gently move them. And then I'll take my gasket, put it around the circle, mark my center. I've done that already. And I'll drill a hole, and then we'll go ahead and finish this bottom bar installation by putting this mount in. But once again, I've already checked behind to make sure I know what's back there so I don't have any damage, or I mean, not damage, but so I don't have interference from certain obstacles on the interior of the boat. All right, we've got the top assembly on now. We've taken some liberties, just trust us. We bolted the top legs onto the corners. We've got our 10mm metric bolts secured with our lock washers and Loctite on there. Same for that side. Each one specific. You'll see it'll be obvious. We went ahead and took a Sharpie marker here and made some index marks or hatch marks so that we know the distance from our gusset inward. You'll see that. And then we put tape on here to make sure we don't slide in too far and scratch our tower when we assemble it. So what we did was we went and put our hinge pieces onto the bottom of the leg here and also on the top bar piece. This allows the Torrent to hinge and break down up and together. So when we did that though, let's bring the camera in. I'll show you a couple key things there. We put nylon disc in these locations right here. So when you assemble them, you'll bolt through and there'll be this disc here. We're going to tighten that interior bolt, probably about 15 foot-pounds of torque there. But that disc, you must use it to allow this to swivel. This action is required as you raise and lower the tower. So just trust us on that. And then you actually can't see the hinge bolt. It's facing interior here. I recommend on the opposite side that the hinge bolt face outside. So on the other side, you would actually see this bolt, and it allows the action of the tower to tighten and loosen. When you raise and lower this tower, when you lower, you need to back it off, at least this hinge bolt, at least half a thread or half a revolution, so it releases and comes down freely. So once again, we've got all these pieces in. We've not drilled our top bar. We just slid into it, okay? And we've got a preload of about 6 or 7 inches. If I release this bolt and slide this over here, I'll have about 7 inches of preload. That's how we know there's enough preload on this tower. That's very important to offer a rigid, strong tower there. 6 to 7 inches from this face. If I release this piece over to here, I would push it back and I know I'm content. Then I can mark that and drill that when the time comes. Okay, we went and put the tower together. We lifted it up. You would suspend it from a tree if you wanted to. That's really not necessary with this type of tower since it's a single bar with a hinge. And so what you could have done, and it's a little awkward on video and we chose not to do it, and I'll show you how to lay it down in a minute, but let's talk about the main assembly right now. And that is, we have our rack plate assembly here, and this main, we'll call it plate assembly here, comes assembled. This comes in the box with the main swivel bar and here. And check out how thick and how big the size of the support bar that we're using, the swivel bar. It's massive. We're using nylon bushings here, and then when you do the assembly, you'll actually put these plates on with the forks, and it has a nylon bushing. Now, right now, I've got this thing locked in, so when you're going across the water, it can't rotate on you, but we have a swivel built into the backside of this thing with a lock. Now, check out how nice this is right here. Look at that. And there's your knob right there. Now, there's not a lock position here. It's only in the backside in this proper position. When I get right back here, I just do a few rotations of the knob and I'm locked in. But super smooth action, big nylon bearing support, no sound, great cushion. And we'll talk also about some of the pieces here. We do have what we call our swivels right on the end here, and they're going to allow us to get infinite adjustment. Some people don't understand that, but that purpose of this is so it can match any angle on your boat without binding. And when I go to lay this tower down here in the other clip, you're going to see how that action works. So once again, premium forks. You can also upgrade to combo forks or triple knee wake, or a surf wake also. All those will fit on here and swivel, and we have them black and polished. Okay, let's talk about a very important part of the puzzle of a wakeboard tower is laying it down or storage. So many of you have low height garages that you have to get in. This tower itself is nearly 5 foot standing by itself with another 2 foot off the gunnel. As you can tell, I'm 6 foot tall, so we're talking 7 foot by the time we get to the head of the tower. This is not going to go in your typical garage. So we're going to solve that problem today. We took a few liberties as always. I've loosened this plate up here, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay it down. I've loosened up my swivels just a turn or so, and I know on this boat I can gently set it on the seat. Not a problem. Make sure you know where it would touch. Up front, I back my hinge bolts off about a half turn. Now when I go back up to storage or ready to run, I'm going to tighten them back up. But for lay down, I back them off a half a revolution. Now, watch and learn here as we do the trick here. We're going to go ahead, and it gets a little awkward. I'm doing it by myself, so bear with me. A little bit awkward. I back the bolt off a little bit in advance for expediting the video, and I'm going to hold this in place, back it out about 2 threads in this case. I can already feel it, the shoulder bolt loosening. I believe I'm free. I've got my Allen wrench. You can get your own custom Allen wrench if you need to. And I'm going to go ahead and lay this one down on the seat. Once again, I really recommend you do it with 2 people, but watch how easy it is. I gently lower it down. Watch this come into place. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to hit anything. In this tower, I'm going to be very cautious, but I suggest you get a towel or something like that. And look at that. That thing is down low in your garage. Problem solved. Once again, it goes up just the same way. Our hinges were loosened off a half thread. That's how you store a Big Air Torrent tower. And you get all the bells and whistles that go with the premium tower also.